And we are live. It's the Cavemen back inside of the whip once again. It's your boy Ghost, aka Joseph Ngala. I got my co-host with me.
Sheldon Songo, aka Milk. You already know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
And we do have a guest for y'all today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him introduce himself right here.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? What's up? We in the whip.
Mm-hmm.
CXA control cross attack coming right at you. You know what it is.
Straight up.
We rep 254 streets of Nairobi. You know, it's not just the streets of Nairobi, streets of Mombasa Road, streets of Kisumu, Lake Victoria, all of that shit. We rep it.
Shit, bro.
Yeah, yote man, yote.
All that shit. The motherland.
Basi Waturkana pia tunarepo huko.
Bana.
Wase Wajir, tujawasahau. Wase wa Mandera, tujawasahau. You motherfuckers are Kenyans.
All the way out in Kericho.
All that, yeah, man, like all of these guys, man, like
Tuko connected.
There's a lot of unheard places.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
we don't hear about these places on a day-to-day basis.
yeah, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, I've been very fascinated with northern Kenya. Like, there's some real, like, box office Hollywood type shit going on in northern Kenya. We don't even fucking know, man. Like, for real, I can't even I can't explain, but problem is I'll need sources, and I don't want to be out here like pushing conspiracy theories and shit. But
Tell us what you heard.
Yeah, man.
okay, like, you guys know like how it is, and like supply lines and all of that shit. You understand how like trade works, not just trade, but like, all types of trades, because there's like legal, over the counter type business, and then there's like the black market shit. And not just the black market, like there's a lot of markets. There's black markets, gray markets, bear markets, all of that shit. So like there's some real shit going on in northern Kenya, man, especially in terms of like weapons and like interests of the military. You guys know like the US or like the US Army have a base, multiple bases, military bases in northern Kenya.
Only multiple.
Multiple. It's not just one. There's one official one, and like several camps which are on paper, but there are some other bases that are off the map, off the satellite, all of that shit.
On some Area 51.
On some Area 51 type shit, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Just saying that bana, buka tuliona UFO.
Bana, I remember the UFO. But what did they, I know they train our soldiers, Zapo, and some of them at least, but what do they do in the ones where they go off the radar?
Yeah.
Drone testing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
They test drones.
So wana test drones zao in our fucking land. That's crazy.
No, they're not testing it in our land, they're testing it in Somalia. Like, we are where they use to, like, keep the equipment, run their equipment, and safely launch them.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So they're fighting Somalia.
No, they're not fighting Somalia, my friend. That's cap. They're not fighting
they're
Somalia.
testing
They're
their
testing drones.
Yeah.
They're testing drones.
They're testing
On
drones.
Somalia.
Yeah. That's crazy bana, tunaachilia. Tunasahau si ni neighbors hapo.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
See, that's just the thing that I want to talk about. Kenya's a colony.
Clearly.
Yeah.
We are a colony, we're not a country. Unfortunately, it hurts me to say this, because nimeishi nikiamini like patriotism,
Yeah.
Ukenya ni moja bana, Ukenya ndio kila kitu, Kenya damu,
Hadi mimi bana nimekuwa.
So it hurts me kufikiria tu mazee. Mimi niko hapa mazee, nimeamini hii flag na sisi ni colony. We are a fucking colony, and we are actually not a colony to the US. We are a colony to China, but we are a protectorate of the US, if you understand that language. Because, Kenya has been a protectorate around the 1920s. Before 1920s, right? 2020, we are 100 years later.
Right.
Like back before 1920, we used to be a protectorate.
Okay.
And then, like in 1920, the British decided, fuck it, we in that bitch.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
No. So past 1920 now, like, what is territorial, you know, what we territorially recognize as Kenya,
Right.
is, you know, became a colony. But before that, it used to be half and half. You guys understand that? Like, we used to be a protectorate, but like main highlands Kenya, that was straight up a colony. So there was like some parts of Kenya that were a protectorate, you know, like northern Kenya, all these places that, you know, white people couldn't travel as easily as the Africans. Because Africans, you know, we've been knowing the routes. We, you know, we have camels. Like, we know how to get there. But the white people didn't. So any place that they can't easily get there, they call that the protectorate. But the places where they like build the railway and, you know, they had shit like lands, horses, all of that shit, that was recognized and they could exercise their colonial power. You understand that? So we used to be a protectorate and a colony at the same time, and we are back to that era. We are back in that era, like straight from the past. Actually, it never changed, my Z. Blast from the past. They right here with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, yeah.
So
That's true, man. I can't even call that a conspiracy.
Yeah,
man.
that's just factual.
They're just
Yeah.
facts. Just facts.
We're,
Some shit you don't auhitaji zikuwe zimeandikwa chini. Zingine tu you can see. You just need to see. And that's all na imeisha hivi.
but najua you can, you know, mi naamini seeing is believing, like, which is a paradox because like kuamini inamaanisha believing. So I believe that seeing is believing.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. But back to people who understand what I'm saying, like seeing is believing. But here's the thing, we don't just have eyes, we have ears, we have mouths, and chiefly we have brains.
Yeah.
So me personally, I'm all about using like all 5 senses, actually not just 5, all 7 senses. I'm all about using all 7 senses because humans have 7 senses.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm all about using all 7 senses to comprehend reality. And reality is, hey, we fucked, pussy. You. I can say fucked on this podcast,
of
right?
course.
Yeah.
Oh.
All out, man. All
Yeah.
out.
Good to know.
Yeah, all out. So,
Good to know.
so what do you think ni inaweza kweli leader wase kumake hizi choices walimake? Let the land go.
Mi ndawambia kuna kitu moja nachukia hii dunia. Okay. Middlemen. Middlemen will always, no matter what, fuck you over. And in any walk of life, like business, love, marriage, like sex, middlemen will always fuck you over. Now, Kenya, that's all. Now, see Kenya peke yake, but like most Africans don't realize that the middlemen end up fucking us over every single time. And it's always the middlemen who win. That's actually why the middlemen win. They fuck everybody over to make sure they get their W. Now, like a chief example of a middleman is a politician.
Yeah.
So the politician been selling us. They already sold us. In fact, they are double selling us. They are selling us twice. You ever met a person, okay, mwenye anakuuzia kitu, but what he's selling you isn't in hand. He doesn't actually have it. It's not in his hand. He's striking a deal with you with ideas. No, like it's not really there. It's just you believe it's there. The idea of you believing that he has that product keeps you making deals with him or her.
Funny enough, na hivyo ndo kila mtu hii nchi yako. If you wanna do business with people, like every business ni kani scam. Hakuna kitu yote legit. Na so walai.
The only businessman who exists, who claims to be a businessman, is a businessman with a product.
Right.
If they have the product in hand and they want to exchange with you something like either currency or like another product, then you have your product in hand, he has his product in hand, and you make an exchange. That's trade.
Right.
But, in the modern capitalist consumerist society, that doesn't fucking matter, man. Like, I can strike a deal with anybody. Me, actually, I started out in the business of selling ideas. I still sell ideas. I'm actually here to sell an idea. But you have to recognize that idea isn't in, my hand.
Yeah.
It's not a physical thing and you can say that you're trading. It's not physical.
Right.
Physical, yeah.
Yeah.
So, back to the middleman. You know, any middleman who's signing a deal with you and they don't have their product in hand, doubt. And don't just doubt, like, don't strike that deal, man. Like, if you strike a deal, then you should already have what you want in your hand. That's my rule. You know, if I go and I ask for, let's say, like water, a bottle of water. Yeah, if you're selling the bottle of water at 70 shillings or, you know, whatever currency is being used to exchange, I have my 70 shillings, and if he puts the bottle of water on the counter, I give my 70 shillings. Otherwise, if I tell him, oh, I don't have that 70 shillings right here, let me go get it, or let's wait for it, but meanwhile, I'ma chill with your water, no shit like that is ever going to happen. Like, that motherfucker isn't gonna let you touch his water.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Basic human nature. But there are people who are good at there are people who are good at what they do. And if you're really good at what they do, you know, they won't just sell you something that isn't there. They'll, you know, take it, leave, and then come and convince you again. They'll repeat. If you can't repeat something, you haven't mastered it, or it's not something of value. That's fluke. That's luck. That's not reliable. But if somebody repeats that, then it becomes, you know, a sure thing. Like, they're actually fucking good at what they do. A good master, or mastery, is essentially repeating something, you know, like recreating an outcome. So in the case of a middleman who double sells, they are so good that they'll take you, convince you to buy something he doesn't have on hand, then they'll take somebody else, display their mastery, and then clash you two and make sure you guys sort out your shit. He is not involved. He already got what he wanted. He had a step. He had a step.
Ndio kitu hao sana tufanyie.
It's ugly.
Wanapea,
It's pia because we don't have industries, man. We don't
Exactly.
care to build industries and shit.
Yeah. That's why there's so many middlemen, man.
Everybody just kind of is relying on somebody.
Yeah.
Everybody's
for an
becoming a
opportunity.
middleman.
Unajua. Hakuna places you can go, you're like, I sure bet I'm employed here, no doubt. Unajua. Like how the Americans can call, you know, McDonald's that I'm a Burger King or something like that. We don't have such places, you know. You kind of have to know somebody, or maybe know somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah. People have to know each other, man.
You know. So hiyo inatuweka at a very desperate.
That's why waliwa Jua Kali.
Pyramid
They killed Jua Kali. I don't know if you guys have realized, but they killed Jua Kali. I'm so fucking sad.
Damn, I didn't realize it.
No, they killed Jua Kali. Let's be real. If you actually are on these streets na unaangalia na macho, you'll realize that in the past there used to be like this wave of like people who had like a specific industrial skill, metal work. Not just metal work, but basically ni factory skills. Kuna factory skills flani walikuwa nazo.
Yeah.
There's some knowledge and there's some mastery they had when it came to like creating and manufacturing and industry. So people could actually do that shit for themselves. Mtuange, you know, they would buy that equipment, kani equipment ya kuchomelea gates, you know, all of that shit. But you don't see that shit anymore. Like, the only people who are, you know, a lot of shops which do furniture. And that's the thing. That's become big business now. People who do that shit, they've monopolized it. So now that they've monopolized it, you know, Jua Kali is dead.
Yeah, Jua Kali now is dead. That's true, man.
So picture that. Who killed Jua Kali? Why did they kill Jua Kali?
I almost thought you were talking about the rapper, bro.
Nah.
No, as in, it could be a double entendre, but in this case, I'm talking about the actual Jua Kali industry. But Jua Kali himself, that's actually something to think about. Like, the rapper himself, his name is, and not just his name, but his name and his career as a rapper is the representation of that shit, man. Like, for real.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on in our whatever we want to call society
But the
anymore.
question bana itakuanga
Mm.
si tunaenda kufanya nini about your shit yote. Then the question comes up.
Thank you.
Glad you asked. I have answers. Well, they're not answers, more like this is something you should seriously consider doing yourself. That is, if you're actually serious about your life.
Right.
So the first consideration, the first thing I want people to consider, okay, is where you are. And not just where you are like an actual location, but in life. You know, like if you wake up in the morning and look around, what do you see? And what's your reality? Not just what do you see. Again, as I said, seeing is believing, but believing is also seeing, and people can make you believe anything.
Yeah.
So you can't just, believe what you see or see what you believe. You have to consider all of reality. And me personally, when I consider all of reality, naangalia, what is the one thing yenye nahitaji most at all times? Of course, ni oxygen, sindio?
Yeah.
Hewa, air. Then there's water. It's the hierarchy of human needs. Hewa, if you're not breathing, you die within 3-4 minutes. If you're not drinking water, if you don't drink water for more than 24 hours, if you keep, like dehydration kills.
Yeah.
And they're one of the reasons why diseases like cholera and nini, they're deadly. Because you're dehydrating, and once you dehydrate within 24 hours,
You feel gone.
casket. We order the casket. And then past water, what else? Food. No, like it's all about how long will you go without something before you die. That's your reality, sindio? Now, once you have the list, once you have that list, how many of those things, let's say you have like a list of 10 things, how many of those things do you actually have control over? Like, nobody can, fuck over your control. Like, if it's water, I can always access water. No, I gotta make sure hakuna msee mwenye akona his knee on my neck, so that the oxygen doesn't pass to my lungs. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you go low and low, of course, like you'll think about things, and the easiest way we digest is to think about it from a human rights perspective. Sindio? The basic rights, food, shelter, clothing.
Yeah.
No. Shelter and clothing, especially clothing. Clothing is about dignity.
Yeah.
Human dignity as a human right. No.
Yeah.
Nyumba, that's easy to understand. If you don't have a shelter, a place where like you can either stash your wealth or stash the things kama, supplies for food, maji. If you don't have that place, you're gonna die. Yeah. And it's the thing also about shelter is security as well, because there's other risks.
Yeah.
Things like wild animals.
Yeah. Fucking lions.
And not just fucking lions, fucking humans. You get? So if you don't have a shelter and your shelter is not secure, that's not a shelter. So, again, food, shelter, clothing, human rights. So if somebody has control of your human rights, then you don't have a reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but think about it, like how many things do you control? Me, I know for sure I can control my supply of water. At the very least, I know where I'll go in Kenya to get clean water, clean drinkable water, 100%, no bacteria, no shit. If I drink this water, I'm gonna live.
Yeah.
So me, if I look around now in my list of things, I control 50% of the most basic things, and another 50% yenye it's tentative. I don't know whether I control it, but for now I still am.
Yeah.
Kuna vitu kaa hizo.
Yeah.
think about 2007 kulikuwa na political violence, si ndio? And what is political violence? Hiyo ni violence that stems out of wasee kuambiana mastori. So wasee waliambiana mastori 2007, and then all of a sudden motherfuckers out here shedding rivers of blood. Ni huku Kenya tu, and me personally, I was alive. I can tell you shit. You know, kuna hii movement ya Gen Z, but what people don't realize is Gen Z was alive 2007.
We saw what happened, you know?
Yeah.
We saw what happened. I think shit like that kind of just, you know, led us to where we are. That's why we're sitting down here.
Yeah.
Discussing this shit, you know? 'Cause
Okay, I'm here to tell you stories so that we can go do some violence, guys. Mnanisikiza?
Yeah.
Yo,
But
sound the alarm,
okay,
bro.
tell
Sound
us. I want like my boy Ghost over here to continue his train of thought. What were you saying?
Yeah, man, that's just kind of what I would get into at this point. We have to actually get serious with it tonight. We have targets, nini. There's this guy, I saw him on Twitter, anaitwa sijui nani. Is it Morara or who?
Kibosa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's making like these videos where he's exposing Ruto and all his failed projects and whatever. Like, I think that's good, you know.
Yeah.
Next thing would be now like holding them accountable, you know.
Okay, I actually want to talk about, you see, Kibosa is exposing, not just exposing, but he's, exposing, but I think there's a thing about exposing and then there's another thing about educating. Because I can expose you to something, I've been exposed, but exposing means, whatever understanding you pick out of that, that's on you. Most people don't do that. Most people are just like ignorant by nature, and that's not a bad thing. It's just a mechanism to save energy, but at the same time you have to actually invest some energy if long term you actually want to not just survive but thrive.
Yeah.
It's so that you can keep going at full speed. Because otherwise, if you become ignorant for efficiency's sake, you'll save energy right now, but trust me, in the long run it will fuck you over, right?
Yeah.
So from that perspective, to educate someone is to be actively invested in what they understand.
Yeah.
I think Apondo Morara, that's what Morara wants to do. He wants to make sure, like, whatever understanding you get from this project, Yarudo, that, is supposed to have, this amount of money spent there, actually has this amount of money spent, and it's over this duration of time. You can't just make that shit up. That's what he's trying to do. Because by eliminating those options, ya kudanganya watu, or to lie to the people, Ruto's losing options. He can't lie to the people anymore. And it's not just him, it's about the regime, the system, because there's a system behind him.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a history, there's a, people, this is shit that has actually been written down somewhere.
Yeah.
As much as personally, pia mimi naona like vitu zimeandikwa, ni vitu zimeandikwa. But at the same time, there's shit yenye imeandikwa, I read it and I take it seriously. Because from what I'm seeing around me, from the reality yenye na experience, this shit that has been written has an effect. There's effects. There's active effects zenye zinaendelea.
Yeah.
And then there's this other shit nimesoma, which is, fiction. But kwa the things zenye nasoma and I take them seriously, I look at their, kitu yenye Morara is trying to educate us about, especially in terms of system imekuwa ikitutoka do.
Yeah.
They make 100% sense, even from a perspective of world history. Hizo vitu nyingi zina align sana. I can't now just sit down and niseme, what Morara's saying on Twitter or like his, his movement yake, because there's a lot of ways, media, because it's just yesterday, for perspective, it's I think the date is like 30th August, right? Friday. Jana alikuwa Citizen, and he was having an interview with JKL. I actually watched that interview, and it's not just that one. I've watched multiple interviews he's been doing with the media. Kuna yenye amefanya na Lingugi. There's another one he did on some radio called, I forget the name of this radio, something FM.
Spice.
I'm not, Spice FM. Thank you. I'm not a Siskizangi radio. You'll forgive me. I'm an internet motherfucker. But not just the internet. I do the internet and I do newspapers. But radio, I'm not tapped in. Poleni. I'll change. I'll tap into radio as well. I'm done being ignorant. That's what I'm trying to say. But yesterday, he was talking with JKL, and he was showing the videos of like the institutions and nursings, and they were supposed to exist, but all of a sudden they don't. And the roads, because in Spice FM he also talked about the infrastructure in terms of roads. Do you guys know kuna barabara Kenya that is worth 300 mil? People are walking on 300 mil. Would you believe that? Tell me. My guy, tell me. You tell me.
No fucking way.
No.
What street is that,
Ile street gani?
Yeah. Where's it at?
Okay, I do not have the precise location, but you know where to go to find it. But that road, okay, it's somewhere along Mombasa Road. It's a village. Right. That road is not worth 300 mil. The money, the 300 mil, or to be precise, the 280 mil that has been spent on that road, or that the government claims has been spent on that road, okay, it's in somebody's pockets. And that person, okay, na nikisema pocket, I mean account, poleni. Pocket is very possessive. But in this case, it's appropriate because it is actually in somebody's pocket. But we mean account. Because like if you ukienda kwa hizo financial reports, and all this information is out there, guys. But ukienda kwa hizo reports, they'll say that they already paid, or the government of Kenya already cleared that check. Hiyo ni report ya Auditor General, who actually sits in the office that is about that shit. Unaona? Yako kwa treasury. He tapped in.
Yeah, najua.
So, according to him, there's been 280 million that has already been cashed out on some Kenyan shit, on some, where did they actually get this money? The Kenyan people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's our taxes. And they've been taking this shit every single day. Remember when I'm telling you guys, like, there's a list of things that, human rights, basically. In Kenya, we have human rights because we pay taxes. True or false? True. At least that's what they're telling us in the media and all of that shit. Like, for the government to actually work, for the government to claim that it's the government, sindio, juu gava inachukua taxes, na ikichukua taxes na maanisha wanaenda kufanya kitu nayo.
I feel like that's where we go wrong. Ati we pay taxes to have human rights. That's stupid no shit. Don't you think?
No, it is. It is.
We need to change that.
Because you already have rights, man.
Yeah.
The moment will exist.
When did we lose community in this country, man? Jesus Christ. Why is everything financial? We gotta stop all that, man. There needs to be.
It's very depressing, actually, to think that somebody is taking from you every single day, isn't it?
Yeah. You going out? Alright. What was I gonna say?
I have a lot to say, actually, but I don't know.
Go on, man. Yeah, go on. our rights, man. Our rights are being taken from us. You know what I'm saying? We should be more communal about it.
I mean,
Rights
have your
shouldn't-
rights been taken? That's all that matters apparently. Because my rights haven't been
Of course,
taken like
not
that.
in that sense. But like, I
Yeah.
mean, they're trying to. They're trying to take our shit, you know.
No, but see, that's just the thing I'm trying to tell you. I like it's about, you know, how you think about it. Because me personally, I'm empowered to think that I'm actually in control of my human rights,
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
I can actually make some actions
Mm-hmm.
that can, you know, swing anything towards, you know, how I want it to go.
Okay.
But in this case, you know, if I consider time, you know, because like, again, bringing it back to human rights, you know, we're still breathing, we still drink water every day, you know, we still have a place to sleep, we still sleep every day, and we still have control of our food, right? And let's talk about food for a second, you know, like, where does your food come from? It comes from farms, right? Mashamba, not just mashamba, you know, we have the open market. Not just the open market, but there's also like the things you can do for yourself. Kama unaweza jipandia skuma, you know, fuck it, panda skuma maze. I know a lot of people wenye wako na farms za skuma just like in their own homes. No, hadi sisi tuko nayo, like, you know, tuko na shamba ya skuma. No, and or like, you know, huwezi kosa skuma Kenya. True or false? Huwezi kosa unga, huwezi kosa unga Kenya, si ndio? And that's because somebody has a maize farm. True or false?
True, man.
So at least niko sure naweza access unga, naweza access mboga, si ndio?
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, but for now, because shit is changing, and because think about it, sai government ndo iko na monopoly on kudistribute seeds, or at least they are trying to. Wanatudanganya that they can actually do that. They can't.
Yeah.
But why are they saying they can? What are they really going after? Wakijaribu ku control seeds or the supply of seeds in particular places. Because hapo nikawa wanajaribu kupigana na nature in some sense, you know.
Yeah.
But they could also succeed particularly ukiangalia from a perspective of kuna product inaitwa unga. So, that is, you know, made out of seeds za mahindi. Now all of a sudden huwezi kuwa tu na mahindi yoyote. Why are they trying to do that? Sovereignty, like
That's excessive. We were talking about it earlier. Like, what are you doing, man? Don't come for the farmers. Achana na wase.
Suliona hadi hiyo wakiongelea about ndengu bana.
yeah, it's a lot of seeds. There are a lot of species of seeds that they are trying to control.
Yeah. And I feel like wanataka kugeuza hii place ikaika America. Tuanze kukula synthetic food. Lab-made food.
No, but we're already eating synthetic food. Walai. Ukikula unga imekuwa processed, particularly kama umetoka kwa supermarket. And you know, personally, I know all forms of unga. Mimi nikirudi mtasa, you know, I actually have the flour that's been made out of natural maize and the packet shit, the shit that's been processed in a factory. Right? Kuna zenye zimekuwa processed kwa factories kuna kitu inaitwa aflatoxin. True or false?
True.
Particularly the people who are actually in these labs testing, because there are people like that. Si hadi nyinyi mnajua.
Yeah.
Kuna wase wanakuanga kwa lab na hizi unga, na mse atakwambia levels of aflatoxin, and aflatoxin is not a chemical that you should be eating at all. That's why it's called a toxin. Toxin is in the name.
Yeah.
Remember when they found the mercury in the sugar?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, you tapped in. You tapped in.
Yeah.
Walipata mercury kwa sukari na
What is
juzi
that
tu
story?
fertilizer ilipatikana kuwa plastic. True or false?
True, man. Like, hey, this fake shit bana. Hey, this is too much, man.
No,
like,
but
ni mtu anajaribu like kujichukulia vitu akae nazo, ama msa anajaribu kufanya nini?
power. Unakumbuka at the start of the podcast we started talking about like world history, not just world history, but I started out by shouting out my motherfuckers in northern Kenya. Yo, can I bring you back to my motherfuckers in northern Kenya?
Yeah, let's do it.
How are they actually getting those things? Because they're getting those things because hadi wao wanapata mahindi yenye wao wanapata ni same na yetu.
Nah, doubt it.
Hakuna venye, si ndio? Hakuna venye, si ndio? Kuna mashamba zenye wao wametoa mahindi. See why they want to control seeds.
Yeah. Kenya kupewa mahindi, utapewa mahindi wezi plant tena.
Exactly.
Wezi plant tena. So ni hivyo tu.
You either eat that maize or you put it in 6 feet deep and let it die. It will never grow. Why? Ukipika ugali, sindio? Because that's what we make out of maize flour, sindio? Kuna ugali unaweza pika na hiyo mahindi uiweke kwa fridge, haitaoza. Sindio? Na kuna ugali, no matter what you do, hata ukiweka kwa fridge how long, ita spoil.
People need to understand this shit. This shit is serious. Shit's a joke.
We are not fucking joking, you know. Personally, I fuck with the Joker or DC, if you guys are into that shit.
Yeah.
But we ain't doing that.
Yeah, this is
DC fan right here.
Bro, we see DC, bro, we see Marvel. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
We ain't fucking joking. We're under the Joker.
Yeah, I think that's a very big statement in our current climate. Like, people make too many jokes about this shit, man. It's not a fucking joke. I'll say that every day if I need to. It's not a fucking joke, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, but mi nitasamehea mse akicheka, but at the same time I'll be very wary of him because you never know, it could be sanity or labda tu anatucheka juu kuna kitu yeye anajua si hatujui.
That's the guy. Mtu akicheka, that's the guy. Ako part of your system.
It's either ako part of your system ama your system imemfuck over so hard he's going crazy.
But nah, you know, me, I would just tell somebody straight up, it's not funny, bro. You know?
Yeah, but you can't laugh. Like, I can't blame you, and I also, like, near human response. Laughing is a very human response.
Yeah, you can laugh.
Yeah,
look, man, I'm not about to take somebody's rights because of this, but I'm just saying, like, I won't agree with that laughter, you know?
No, but if somebody doesn't want you to laugh, you take away his rights. Because you can take away somebody's rights if you want. You're a human being. Do you know that? Yeah, that's what humans do. Humans can take rights from other humans. And we are humans. And we can take some rights from some people. Some rights, of course, personally. Because me, I believe I'm a benevolent person. So I won't take your right to breathe.
Yeah, I would love to contradict myself less.
Yeah,
you know?
Like sometimes right inakuwa taken kama unaitumia vibaya. You're right. Kama unakuwa right to speak alafu una speak lies, you'll have to take that right yawe kuongea. Na fila hapo sando ina apply cut right.
How would you say we go about that?
Okay, mi singesema kunyamazisha msee, but more like kufanya isikuwe na effect at all. Nakuwa tukiongea kuhusu things that have been written down. You can actually separate that shit yourself, and you can make other people separate by force. So that's how they can control things like the media. But that means there's some media you also control yourself, right? Na unaweza chukua venye tu he's saying, you can also silence somebody. Not that necessarily you'll stop them from talking, but you'll make sure nobody hears anything they have to say. And then you just leave them in the middle of nowhere screaming as loud as they want. You've taken their right. And personally, that's not something I want to happen to Morara Kibosa or anybody, for that matter. especially if I consider them Kenyan, because again, I've grown up believing, you know, like Kenya damu.
You people.
And I just want to add that, you know, luckily a lot of these things happen naturally. I feel like the more you lie, the more unajiweka in a box, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Soon enough you will be in an isolation, screaming in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Nature yenyewe itatake tu hiyo.
Mnaona tunaweza fanyia Ruto hivyo?
Haven't you say it's kind of can't you say it's what's happening to him right now?
Yeah.
It is what's happening to him.
How many
But
people trust him?
How
now
many of
than
us can
before?
contribute towards that? That's what I'm asking.
It doesn't matter. Bana
There's a few of us who can take it to the extreme,
yeah.
but the majority, the most they can do is puny.
But
Hapo kwa the extreme.
can you
kuna
sneeze at the
feel.
puny shit of 54 million people?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you. Okay, Ghost, okay? And then we'll kila mtu atajibu hii swali. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We ukiwa na 54 million people behind you, utafanya nini? For a split second, not just a split second, but for like 3 full minutes, 54 million people are behind you. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
3 minutes, man.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
I can answer
Pekee. 54 million people.
Power.
Bro,
Power.
you need power. Oh my fucking...
Power.
Bro, Ghost, can you control 3 minutes of 54 million people?
Yeah, I think I can.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And with that 3 minutes, I would convince them to, you know, stick with me forever.
No, they've already stuck with you forever. And that
Okay.
forever is 3 minutes.
3 minutes then now.
Oh, okay. So it's like the final thing.
It might be their final thing. I don't know what percentage of that 54 million people will actually die in the next 3 minutes. But as long as they are there, they're not dead yet. In 3 minutes, yeah, they're dead. You don't know what percentage. Could be 100 people out of 54 million. Yeah, that's their 3 minutes. Once that 3 minutes is up, my man, meet God.
Yeah.
But, okay. Are we talking like 3 minutes as an analogy to...
No,
what
we're
Ruto
talking
is-
about exactly 3 minutes. Wait, just picture yourself with 3 minutes of 54 million people.
3 minutes, 54 million people. Yeah, I can do a lot.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Na
Just me
nikupea-
speaking to them?
na nikupea, not just you speaking to them, it's almost mind control. Not necessarily mind control, but they have consented towards kufanya kitu yenye wewe umewaambia wafanye.
Oh.
If you tell them to worship, they will worship. If you tell them to, you know, fucking do jumping jacks, maze, Miss Jali, watafanya jumping jacks.
And that's very cool that you say that, because yeah,
Okay.
many prove here that it doesn't even need much time to change this country.
Yeah.
Sasa hata achana na 54 million. Acha nikupe 300. I give you 300 people right now who you have that level of power on. Just 3 minutes. 300 people only.
I think I can make history with that.
Sindio?
Yeah.
Sindio, kuna movie inaitwa 300. True or false?
True.
You've watched it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mliona the amount of power just those 300 people had.
Yeah, man. Hey. Hey.
So,
the
nikupea
belief.
300 people, you can take away somebody's rights. True or false?
Yeah. Yeah. So quick.
Snap of a finger, sindio?
Yeah. So quick.
Easy.
Na hiyo ni easy given the proper operation, sindio?
Yeah.
Because you come up na an ignorant ass plan,
Yeah.
if the motherfucker you're trying to take away rights from
Yeah.
can fuck you over, hata 300 hawatakusaidia. God fucking help you, because 300 might be small for him or for them. sindio?
Yeah,
So
man. I mean, I think now I'm really gonna think about it more. Like those 3 minutes.
so okay, back to Ruto. Nikupea 54 million sindio, na 3 minutes hiyo ni guaranteed, hiyo hata sicheke mazi. Niko na 54 million people for 3 minutes. He's fucked over. You'll do it, right? Yeah, like hiyo si unfeasible. In fact hiyo ni very probability ni very high. In fact ni sure bet it's 100%.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
You're doing it. Na ukipewa 300 kuna operation fulani unaweza come up with na umnyime haki fulani of your choosing. It might even be the right to life. That is Ruto. Because unaweza chukua tu watu 10 and then use the other 290% kupanga some evil ass shit ya kumu-assassinate. You've taken his right to life.
I would do that.
Given the operation, of course, operation ikifail, or if the operation backfires in any way, you could succeed, but the fallout from that now becomes...
Siwezi mind backfire cause ndajua nimecreate another mind ka hiyo yenye ita attempt. Hadi nikifail nikaa sijafail.
But
Shapeana ideology mahali it can be done.
hiyo ndo story ya Africa majamaa, si ndio? Like there's a lot of things going na kuna a lot of people wenye wamepanga operations given whatever count of people they have. Be it 300 ama you know like 300,000. Kuna wenye ni 300,000, you know, particularly ikifika kwa scale ya we are talking about like territories zenye ziko as large as countries. Si ndio? Alafu we have like, you know, like our neighbors. Let's talk about our neighbors for a second because, you know, we are East Africans. Ndio. Hapa tu East Africa tuko na Ethiopia. Si Ethiopia kumekuwa na civil war. Na si Ethiopia peke yake, Sudan kumekuwa na civil war. Hizo ndo outcomes za watu wenye kuna operations kaa hizo. Like msana napanga 300 minutes na anasema tunadai kunyima hawa wasei haki majamaa. Fanyeni hivi, chukueni hizi ma AK. Load up the fucking banana clips. We're riding at sunset.
That's something else, isn't it? I know Sudan's been going pretty hard at it. Honestly.
I feel like that's what we need, man, because wasa wame cling on their material shit.
Sawa. Acha niwaulize maswali as a segue. Ni wapi Kenya wanafanya hiyo shit nimedescribe ya kuchukua 300 people na kuwapea ma AKs na kuwaambia tuendeni tunyime wase rights? Northern Kenya.
Ni hao tu huko juu solo.
Ni huko juu solo. Wase wakiamua wanakujia mang'ombe zenu, wanakujia mang'ombe zenu na hamtafanya shit. They take their AKs and they ride at sunset or sunrise. Wakenya wana work hard, I'm proud of those niggas.
Bana huko chini tumekuwa soft. Tumekuwa soft sana.
Huko we don't move at all.
No, but kuna venye sisi tuna move. Sisi hatuchukuangi AKs. You know, we have the second most powerful thing yenye ni do. Do inaweza nyima msee rights. Vibaya sana. It's always about money. Hiyo ndio kitu yenye sika the South to realize. Ndio maana tunaweza kuwa na
It's
the
working
good
against
things.
us though.
Yeah.
At this moment it's working against us, but
Wenye wako nayo.
unaweza picture,
that
okay.
side.
Acha niwape statistics size, ndio, like real quick. Na sitaki kuwa the statistician guy, but eleweni ukianza kuongea lugha ya mathematics, you can't stop. Otherwise ukistop, I don't know, like utaacha kuongea Kiswahili. Ni exactly, you know, you have to keep talking Kiswahili ama utaisahau. So mathematics pia ni language in that sense, si ndio? But back to your statistics. Your statistic ni 63% of the population of Kenya. For context, 2022 Kenya ilikuwa na 54 million people, si ndio? Nimedanganya?
Yeah, I would have to check that, but okay.
54 million people. 63% wanaishi below the international poverty line. which means wanaishi on $2 every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Huku in Kenya we call that 500. Kuna watu wanaishi chini ya 500 kila siku. Umedanganya?
No, man. No.
And of 54 million people multiplied by 63%, you get 32 million. So 32 million people kesho wanaamka kuspend 500 less. Leo wamespend 500 less. 500 peke yake. And in a full 367 days, 65, 66 on a leap year, but 65, 67, watakuwa wamespend 500 every day. And you get to choose whether ni maji na chakula, ama ni, fare, ama ni whatever the fuck you decide, man. 500, that's all you got. 32 million people. What do you think they spend it on, guys?
Read.
Some product, we'll say that. Some product, right? Product of choice. For most people, it's food. That's what they spend on a plate of food every day. Remember what I said? Like, you spend more than, with food, it's like, let's say 3 days, 4 days. Spend 4 days, 5 days without a plate of food. By the end of that week, we're putting you 6 feet deep, man. Personally, can you, ghosts? I'ma cry. But say ile kulia, but ukiwekwa 6 feet deep, mazi, and I feel kuna kitu iko missing from earth. I'll say that at least. Sindio?
Yeah.
But that's what it means to be human. Sindio, once you know for someone for, it doesn't have to be that long. But once you know a human for a given, a year, 2 years, when he's not on earth, you'll feel that shit. Like utaifikiria at some point. That is if I was not a stranger. And then, out of those 32 million people, how many of them do you think wako that kind of relationship? Not relationship, but reality yao. So, ukiwa na hiyo 500, best believe hiyo plate ya chakula, mimi nikiambiwa wewe huna, nda stress. Not kustress ati, stress, but kuna kitu Twitter ni sukuma kunishow, maze. Of course inavari na kila msee. Inavari. Depending, kuna wenye, there are some people you've spent all your years with. Like as long as, you've been, let's say, 27 years old, or you've been 30 years old, kuna wase wenye, every single day, it's your responsibility, or you umejieka accountable, to make sure kuna a particular number of people wameona plate ya chakula. Na si plate ya chakula ni maji pia. Remember what I've said, oxygen, water, food.
There you have it, man.
32 million people.
And you're
Sasa.
a painter as well, right?
No, I'm painting, I'm actually painting as we speak, You can paint with sound, you can paint with math, you can paint with... But I'm painting with sound
shit
right
on the
now.
canvas?
No, I've been doing that. Like, I have, at the end of this year, I will be putting up galleries, showing people what I mean when I say that. You can paint with anything. You can paint with sound. You can paint with lights. That's actually what we paint with. Most people, they think that you're painting, but you're not really painting. Unajaribu control kitu wanaona. So if I paint you, if I take your picture, and I decide I'm going to recreate you in paint, basically I'm just telling you, na kutengenezea kioo, but not na kioo, na kutengenezea kioo na paint. So somebody will actually look at that and say, hey, look at that, that's him. It's photographically accurate that hiyo painting ni kama kioo. Of course ni static. Painting, you know, is not as live as a mirror. Because a mirror has movements. You know, unaweza enda mbele ya kioo na ujiangalie. But msee akiangalia kioo na msee angalia hiyo canvas, atasema that's the same person.
Yeah.
You're painting with light. You're not painting with paint. Hiyo ni illusion umecreate na light. Sindio? Yeah. That's you basically ndo break down what being a painter, what being an artist. You know, when you come a living camera. As in, what I'm trying to say is the best of us, they're living cameras. Like, you can't beat them at that. But you can do that with a lot of things. Ndio, like, venye nimesema, si illusion ya macho peke yake, yenye unaweza control. So, anybody can be a painter. That's what I believe. And everybody is a painter.
Yeah.
It's just that what illusions are you creating with your medium?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. Yeah, man, yeah. I feel like that's enough, man,
Indeed.
for today. Man, you should come back again.
Nimespit knowledge hadi pia mimi mwenyewe nimeona wakati haiko on our side.
Yeah.
How do you feel though?
I feel like I could go for another 7 hours. So, you know, we have to be strategic and see where those other 7 hours will come from. Sahi, 1 hour. Kani 1 hour tuko tunachapa there.
Yeah, man. It's the cave, man.
Yeah, I mean, naona ni 8:05, so personally, by 9 I should be walking. But then again, till 9 p.m, mimi niko kwa whip too, if you guys want me in the whip.
Oh. It's cool, man. It's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe I think I'll
Hashtag
go,
KEVEMEN.
you know, have a meal later on.
Exactly. I'm feeling the same. I'm on the same energy, man.
Hashtag caveman.
No voting 2027 unless it's us.
Or
The
if you're about that, we are voting in 2024. The question is, what are you voting for? Are you voting for a president or a constitution? Me, that's the change I want to make. I want in 2027 people not consider voting for a president, but to change the conversation to voting for a constitution.
That's a whole nother topic.
But that's a whole other topic.
Yeah,
We ought to
yeah.
walk.
Yeah, man. The only road you should be on is the road to independence.
Exactly.
Peace out.
Peace out.